Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video we are going to take a close look at the Teleportation Magic Box. And I have reviewed a couple of these products and I'm just really curious what are we going to get. So inside, yeah, we're going to get ourselves, I'm guessing the typical stuff. But what I mean with typical stuff, we're going to get ourselves the chemical PlayStation controllers. But this time it's going to be slightly different. I think in the past I did review one of those, let's say, per teleportation boxes, but this is the new model. And what I can see already, like, there are absolutely some differences. This product has already been slimmed down and, okay, what the hell? Okay. But it's a completely different redesign and it looks way awesomer than the previous model. Only when it comes to cooling, it's not like an improvement. We did see like some of them have a tiny fan at the top for basically like giving the chipset better cooling, but they didn't do that over here. We do have an on-off switch. We have the TF card over here. So let's take a close look what kind of brand they're using. Yeah, so that's a new thing. They don't even use brands anymore, but it's a 32 gigabyte, or just basically what the text says on the SD card. HDMI out, AV out, and the input for the power supply, that is a 12 volt 1000 milliamp. But inside, so in the inside we're going to get ourselves the PlayStation knockoff controls, but this time we're going to get the hybrid ones with the Xbox buttons. A, B, X and Y. Oh man, this feels really bad, like long travel, but you can maybe hear it. Very bad, and I can say like from this distance I can basically like smell already that this thing is chemical as it can be. So like the joysticks do have like the rubber coating on it. The really cheap to the cheap one don't have that. We do have an on-off switch over here, so let's see if I can open it up. And we do have like two AAA batteries that we need to use. The D-pad is absolutely horrendous. Like you can feel like they're even different between the four like buttons that need to be the D-pad. Absolutely the cheap versions I've ever reviewed here. It's absolutely garbage, I can tell you already that. Then we have the power supply, HDMI cable. It comes with a card reader, seems to be. And then we're going to get ourselves the toilet paper manual like always. This is like the cheaper ones too. But there's colored like explanation or color with got a brain fart. So what I wanted to say is like it comes with a very nice color print toilet paper manual. And here we do have like English. Here it says basically what you can do with it, or short part of it. It doesn't explain a lot, so that's basically what we're going to get with these things. Absolutely pointless manuals. Oh yeah, you know, remember that card reader I said about there was no card reader. Sometimes you do have like these tiny like cartridges, but that's not the case. They added the dongle over here because we're going to get ourselves one dongle and two crappy controllers. Okay, so when you're looking at the teleportation boxes, we do get a completely different, let's say, intro. This is not your typical Super Consoles, and they did something different with these boxes. To begin with, when you're looking at the intro, you can see this is something you don't see often with a Super Consoles, or rather said, not at all. Teleportation Magic Box. Oh yeah. Alright, so when booting up after the video, you're going to get yourself the Pandora box intro. And basically that is part of the loading screen. So let's take a close look at the menu. Okay, so I must say that it is quite interesting how they made this menu with the Pandora box, like, or Magico box. You know, like, all those names are absolutely, like, very confusing. Okay, here we do get the three-dimensional games over here. Here we have, like, the PlayStation Portable, N64, Arcade, PlayStation 1, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Famicom, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Famicom, PC Engine, and we have so much more, including 32X. And here you can see like it even has some Atari, Game Gear. So when it comes to compatibility in combination with some emulator, there's a lot of stuff that you can play with it. Something I personally didn't see before with the first model. So this thing is absolutely something new. And holy shit, there's a lot of different platforms. But this 3D thing, to be honest, is kind of interesting. You can see it's a mixer or anything. But it seems to be like some of them are like Android games or something like that. It's kind of interesting, to be honest. So here you can see like the quick menu shows you over here at the right bottom what you can do with it. You have the search function. A for select, B for back, X for favorites, or basically you can add the games to the favorite list. Select R2 for loading, select L2 for save, and press start plus double click select to exit. Okay, so let's see how this thing works when it comes to the search function. I do like the style of this menu, you can fairly easily go from left to right or the keyboard and basically start your game this way. The only downside is that you don't see what kind of platform the games are on. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a bummer that we have seen in the previous models. Alright, so let's start off with some N64. So I already noticed like they didn't add or there was no Cruising the USA, and the reason I tested it out because that is a game that is absolutely running crap on most of these cheap boxes. But let's grab like say a random one just for fun, just to see like how this runs. Okay. But you can hear that it started like crazy, so even Cruising the World, and I know like a lot of games will run like with stutters and some other hiccups. That's the thing with these cheap boxes. In my opinion, they should like add only a couple, or say that a couple of games will run okay, but mostly they just skip the N64. It seems to be like this game seems to be running okay in the most parts. Alright, so next up let's try some PlayStation 1. But these systems are capable of running it. And again, they messed out with the file images system simply because we don't have any audio. That is something that's really common with these bloody things. So people say like maybe due of space restriction that they just don't add the music files to it, but doesn't matter. Let's try it out. There it is. So despite it feels really bad, the freaking D-pad, I can do some moves. Alright, so next up let's try some PC Engine, and when it comes to these basic boxes, it plays just great. When it comes to two-dimensional stuff, think about 8-bit, 16-bit, Mega Drive, Super Famicom. I really suck at this game, but the point is like it runs very well, and I find it quite interesting to see that we do have the option to play some freaking PC Engine, because that is something you don't see very often with these very cheap boxes. Okay, next up is also an interesting, let's say, platform, Sega 32X, a super niche device, and just very interesting to see that it runs very well on a device like this. Of course, it's not very demanding, and we've reached the point that if you can run up to PlayStation 1, these games will run just fine too. Alright, so when you come into the handheld mode, yeah, they will run okay, but the problem is that we do have like an absolutely horrendous like stretched image, especially like when it comes to handhelds. That is not going to be a very good thing. So far I know there is no way of getting into the settings, putting the original aspect ratio in place. So that is just a problem we have looking at for years now. Like somehow they don't want to fix it, or they just don't really care about it. But when it comes to the emulation performance, it seems to be running just fine. Okay, what I do like about this box, and that's something new, that we have the U-game situation, or basically where we're going to get our Android games. That is something that I'd never seen before on, let's say, Pandora's box. Yeah, these things are made basically on an Android box, so it's normal that it can run it without any hassle. But I think it's pretty damn cool. Like, there's a new feature we didn't like really seen before. They didn't use it, despite it's a freaking Android box, and there are so many cool games on the Android platform that we can play. So let's see how it will run. Everything has been reconfigured automatically to the controller, because these things are Android games, so normally you would play them just on your screen, of course, with touch. Ah, there it is. Needed to find the freaking button for this. And there are just a handful of these games, so there's nothing they saying like, oh wow, we have like gazillion of these games on the box. No, there are like a couple of them, which you can see in the 3D game list. But like the beach racing game is absolutely fun to play. It's more like this Mario Kart clone. So you can find out, where's my turbo? Do we have the option to use the turbo? Yep, everything has been configured correctly. So I think this is a lot of fun to play. Okay, so PlayStation Portable, it's always the same story with these cheap boxes. We do get like a lot of like problems like glitching, The two-dimensional games will run okay or at the point that they are playable. They will use frame skip. Like tinkering with this, in my opinion, is pointless. Because these boxes are just absolutely underpowered for this. But like a Metal Slug, if you don't mind the glitches, it's still playable. I was really curious about how they cool down the chipset, because that is like one of those big issues, especially if you're going to play this for a couple of hours like I did. So the way how they did this, look at this, this is just so laughable. They stacked up a couple of pieces of metal to give this thing some cooling. That is a quite interesting way to go this way. I'm more why should you do it? Just design the case better and add some cooling blocks to it and some active fans. This thing is getting really hot. I can't even touch it for a very long time to give you an idea how hot it is. So absolutely crazy. Alright, so let's remove the cooling just to see what you're going to get underneath. Ugh. Okay, that is quite interesting. So normally you would expect to get yourself an all-winner or whatsoever, but here you can see they are using a kind of weird chip. I have personally never seen this before. It's a quite huge one. So this is the brand HI, the HI 3798. So if I can find some information, I will make with some editing, I will put the specs in here. So we do get some Kingston memory. So I think this is around 2 gigabytes if we're lucky. So specification wise, there's nothing very interesting to see over here. So when you're looking at the description on here, we do get the S-Box Q44. So, but there's nothing much of a date when they created this. Okay, but in the end, when you're looking at this, there's no production date. So I'm guessing that it is a brand new product. There are not a lot of information in general about it. And also they're using not your typical AM logic chip. Yeah, it's quite interesting to see, but when you're looking at everything gets really hot, and that is not going to be a very good thing for the lifespan of this product. But okay guys, so this is what we're going to get with this new Pandora's box. It is absolutely something new, that is just a fact. So when you're looking at the casing and the controller, there are some pros and cons, so let's talk about that. Okay, so when you're looking at the case itself, the case is absolutely made of cheap plastic. Cooling is absolutely garbage like always. I think when you're looking at everything the controllers, it's quite a disappointment. I think the positive thing about it is we do have Android games now on it. So that is something exciting and new in my opinion. But besides this is not a major improvement over all the other ones. And I'm talking about Super Console X's, Game Boxers, and But when you're looking at the Magic Box series, this is absolutely the new generation, or better said, the second or third generation of it. It is something new. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.